welcome our beloved viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The head of state receives a high-level delegation of Saudi private operations presidency. And on the international scene, still in Gaza, Palestine intends to intervene before the International Court of Justice. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, today received at the Presidential Palace a large delegation of Saudi businessmen led by the President of the Union of Saudi Arabian Chambers of Commerce, Mr. Hassan Mujib Al Huwazi. The meeting between the President of the Republic and the Saudi businessmen provided an opportunity to take stock of investment opportunities in our country, as well as cooperation and exchange between the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The businessman's visit was marked by the lease to Saudi businessmen of a 120,000 square meter plot of land in the port of Djibouti and in the free zone, which will serve as a commercial exchange zone and permanent exhibition area for Saudi products destined for countries in the region and the African continent. The talks between the head of state and the Saudi businessmen culminated in general strategic orientations for a greater increase in the level of trade and commercial complementarity between our country and the brotherly kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is important to underline that the visit to Djibouti of this delegation of Saudi private operators coincides with the third edition of the Djibouti Saudi Economic and Business Forum. This event is an opportunity to put in place an integrated arrangements for Djibouti where viable investment potential is combined with the logistics services of a highly modern infrastructure to form a successful economic partnerships. On the Djiboutian side, in addition to the President of the Ports and Free Zones Authority of Djibouti, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, the President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawale, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Daya Ad-Din Saeed Bamakrama, and the Director of the Arab Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as Muhammad Duali Wali, took part in the audience. The president of the Saudi Arabian Chamber of Commerce Union, Mr. Hassan Mujib Al Huwazi, said, "We are here with a large number of businessmen and we have had meetings with Djiboutian businessmen and senior officials to establish partnerships, agreements, cooperation, and commercial exchange." After meetings between the Joint Committee of Saudi Arabia and the Djiboutian government, which worked hard to analyze ways and means of further strengthening the commercial partnership between the two countries, we have today, thank God, the result of the efforts made by the two governments to create a fertile and attractive environment for investment. The president of the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce concluded with that speech. As for the president of the Djiboutian Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Yusuf Musa Douale expressed his joy for the opportunity to establish partnership agreements and commercial exchange with the Saudi delegation. The chairman of the Ports and Free Zones Authority, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, also made a statement addressing the importance of the visit of the high-level Saudi delegation led by the president of the Saudi Chamber of Commerce. After that, the high-level delegation of Saudi businessmen arrived in Djibouti to take part in the Djiboutian Saudi Arabia Business Forum being held today at the Djibouti Isla Grand Hotel. On arrival at Djibouti International Airport, a delegation led by the President of the Federation of Saudi Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Hassan bin Mujib Al Huwazi, were taken to the Djibouti International Free Zone at PK 23, where they were welcomed by the President of the Port and Free Zone Authority, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, and his close collaborators, the members of the delegation was able to familiarize itself closely through a visual presentation with the reception capacities of Djibouti's ports and free zones, which benefit from a modern infrastructure. The Saudi delegation comprises some 80 Saudi businessmen who will have the opportunity during the visit to discover Djibouti's investment opportunities and favorable business climate. Thanks to its strategic location, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and political stability, Djibouti is a key gateway to African markets and the Middle East. The Saudi businessmen then visited the Saudi Economic Zone located with the Free Zone, covering a total area of around 12 hectares. The Saudi delegation expressed its thanks and gratitude to the Djiboutian authorities for their warm welcome and hospitality, underlining the strong frontier relations and cooperation between Djibouti and Riyadh, particularly in the economic and commercial fields. The Djiboutian side expressed the hope that this zone, which would contribute to strengthening economic relations between the two countries as part of the two countries' desire to consolidate their partnership and integration. Accompanying the Saudi delegation was Djibouti's associated ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Mr. Diya Said Bamakrama. The first session of the Djibouti Saudi Economic Forum ended with the signing of a crucial agreement concerning the establishment of the Saudi handling zone with the Djibouti International Free Zone located at PK 23. The historic agreement was initiated by the chairman of the Djibouti Ports and Free Zones Authority, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, and the president of the Union of Saudi Arabian Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Hassan bin Mujib Al Huwazi, in the presence of senior government officials, the president of the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, and business leaders representing both nations. The award of this zone to the Saudi side testifies to the Republic of Djibouti's unwavering commitment to consolidating and developing economic and commercial ties with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Following the landmark event, Saudi and Djibouti businessmen held a fruitful working session highlighting collaboration between the two countries and exploring opportunities for expanding bilateral trade. It should be noted that the Djibouti-Saudi Economic Forum, established in 2017, aims to stimulate cooperation between the private sectors of the two nations with a view to capitalizing on all commercial and industrial opportunities as well as mutual investment possibilities. For his part, the president of the Djiboutian Ports and Free Zones Authority, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, said that this meeting aims to promote and develop trade and investment exchange between the two countries. Let's listen to him.
Djibouti, as you know, is not a big market, but is the gateway for a bigger market. So we have invested a lot on free zones in ports. So we did several meetings in Saudi Arabia. I think 5 times we went there. And also you came here with the ministerial level, several times. And then finally, today, we are going to sign the lease agreement of the Djibouti Free Trade Zone. All the rest has been said by the president of the Chamber of Commerce about the incentives we have in Djibouti, about Forex, about the other things we can offer to attract Saudi Arabia business people to Djibouti in the free zones. So the only missing link is the air travel. To go to Riyadh, to go to Jeddah, we have to go around the world. Direct flight between Djibouti and Jeddah is almost less than 1 hour, less than 2 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes. So we are investing on the movement of goods, but also people to people. They have to move. If you have to go 5 hours, 6 hours to reach Djibouti, then it's not encouraging the business people. So I'm very happy to welcome you. And finally, we are going to sign today the contract. Thank you.
The president of the Federation of Saudi Chambers noted in his speech that the volume of trade exchange between Djibouti and Saudi Arabia in 2023 amounted to about $1.8 billion, noting that it is a modest value relative to the size of economics of the two countries. For his part, the Minister of Justice and Penitentiary Affairs in charge of human rights and acting Prime Minister Mr. Ali Hassan Badon pointed out the importance of promoting and developing trade and investment exchange between the two countries. The first session of the Djibouti-Saudi Business Forum culminated in the signing of an agreement related to the establishment of a Saudi handling zone with the Djibouti International Free Trade Zone at PK23. The agreement was signed by the President of the Djibouti Ports and Free Zones Authority, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, and the President of the Federation of Saudi Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Hassan bin Mujib Al Huwazi, in the presence of members of government, the President of the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, as well as dozens of businessmen from both countries. The granting of this area to the Saudi side reflects the great interest in the Republic of Djibouti attached to the strengthening and developing economic and trade relations with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is worth mentioning that the Djibouti-Saudi Business Forum, which was established in 2017, aims to strengthen the governance between the private sector of the two countries to take advantage of all commercial, industrial, and investment opportunities in the two Bartley countries, in addition to developing all formative programs such as transport and technology. The Djibouti-Saudi Economic Forum, which was established in 2017, aims to stimulate all that, plus cooperation between private sectors of the two countries to take advantage of all commercial and industrial opportunities, as well as mutual investment possibilities. Djibouti's head of state, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, wished Italian President Sergio Mattarella health and happiness as he commemorated the national holiday of this friendly country. The people and government of Djibouti join me in expressing their sympathy to the friendly nation of Italy, wrote President Gelle in the telegram, welcoming the continuous strengthening of Djibouti-Italian relations. The privileged nature of the ties between the two countries is reflected in the fruitful partnership they have maintained in recent years in the virtual defense and security sector, noted His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, reiterating our country's determination and work constantly to increase the level of exchange and solidarity between the two nations. Similar messages were addressed respectively to the King of the Kingdom of Sweden, His Majesty Charles VII Gustave, and to the King of Kingdom of Denmark, His Majesty Frederick X. South Korea is organizing the first edition of Korea-Africa Summit this June 4 and 5 at Kintex in the city of Ilsan in the northwestern suburbs of Seoul, as well as in the capital. Delegations from over 45 countries on the African continent took part in the summit under the patronage of the President of the Republic of Korea and the President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, current Chairman of the African Union, co-chairman of the African Korea-Africa Summit, making this the most important multilateral summit since President Yoon Suk-yeol took office in May 2022. This summit will strengthen our political, economic, and social ties with African countries and give us the opportunity to establish comprehensive and practical cooperation in various fields such as critical minerals, infrastructure, renewable energy, digital, agriculture, health, and tourism, announced Deputy National Security Advisor Kim Tai-ho at the press briefing. A summit with many African states to discuss ways of development cooperation, particularly in the economy and energy and digital. Under the slogan, "The future we build together, shared growth, sustainability, and solidarity," the summit of heads of state and government was addressed by Prime Minister Mr. Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed, who spoke of the need to meet global challenges such as climate change, food security, and international stability, which, according to the head of Djibouti delegation, require a shared and tangible commitment and solidarity in order to promote sustainable development. On the sidelines of the summit in the context of virtual contacts, Prime Minister Mr. Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed, accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, held talks with the Chairman of African Commission, Mr. Moussa Faki, the President of the Republic of Ivory Coast, Mr. Alassane Ouattara, the President of the Republic of Seychelles, Mr. Wavel Ramakawan, and the President of Tanzania, focused on the situation in the sub-region and the sensitive issue of the Sudanese crisis. This morning, Djibouti's Minister of Economy and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawale, met his French counterpart, Mr. Bourou Le Maire, at Bercy. The meeting, marked by frank and sincere discussions, bears witness to the shared desire of the two nations to sustain this spiritual cooperation. At the heart of the discussion, Mr. Le Maire reiterated France's support for the financing of Djibouti's new airport, a key infrastructure for the economic development of the Horn of Africa. In addition, the French minister discussed the accompanying measures for administrative reform in Djibouti, underlying France's commitment to supporting the modernization and government's efforts of its Djiboutian partner. Mr. Le Maire expressed his wish to open a new page in relations between the two countries, announcing his forthcoming to visit Djibouti in the coming months, a sign of the importance attached to the strengthened cooperation. On Monday, June 3rd, a strong high-level delegation led by the Minister of Environment, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilm, took part in the ceremony marking the 50th anniversary of the Afar mother tongue and alphabet at the federal capital of the Afar state of Ethiopia, Samarra. The delegation also included the Honorable Deputy, respectively, head of the Deputy Delegation, Mr. Ali Hamad Hassan, the Prefect of Tajorra, as well as the deputies, and Mr. Umar Adan Saeed, the President of Afar Pen, Mr. Alwan, the General Director of the People's Palace, and the responsible officials. This major event celebrates 5 decades of preserving and promoting the Afar language and alphabet, essential elements of the Afar community's cultural and linguistic identity. The ceremony brought together representatives of local authorities, cultural organizations, and members of the Afar community from all walks of life. The Minister of the Environment, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa, said he was honored to take part in the celebration of the 15th anniversary of the adoption of the Dimiskere Du alphabet, which rapidly spread and became the reference thanks to the general consensus. At the end of the ceremony, the President of the Federal Afar State of Ethiopia, The, the president of the Afar region of Ethiopia said, and I quote, "I'm very honored to welcome my brothers and sisters who have come from Djibouti to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the writing of the Afar language. It is a great event that has its full meaning for us, the Afar people, and celebrating it probably is everyone's duty." For his part, the Sultan of Afar said that the religion and language cannot exist without each other, which is why it is so important to master one in order to learn and understand the other. I would like to thank all those present here, as your participation has only made the ceremony more beautiful. This is the independence between religion and language. Language plays a driving role and touches all aspects of life. Language defines and characterizes us. In his speech, the Minister of Environment, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa, said he was honored to be part and participate in this celebration of the 50th anniversary of the adoption of the Dimiskere Du alphabet, which quickly spread to become the reference thanks to the general consensus. As in the other regions in the capital, the 2024 baccalaureate exams got underway yesterday morning at the Arta High School Examination Center, with 147 candidates for the General High School and 40 for the Hosli School. The prefect of the Arta region, Mr. Hassan Dabil Ahmad, the president of the Arta Regional Council, Mr. Elmi Bouh, a representative of the Ministry of Decentralization, accompanied by the president of Arta, Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim Assowe, and the regional inspector, Mr. Hassan Ali Hadi, paid a traditional visit to the examination center and observed the smooth running of the tests. Special measures has also been taken to support candidates from remote areas such as Damerjok. Memfop and the Arta Regional Council are providing transport and meals, facilitating their access to the examination center, enabling them to concentrate fully on their exams. The parents of candidates from remote localities reaffirmed the commitment of Memfop through the Regional Council and the Prefecture of Arta to guarantee optimal and fair examination conditions for all candidates. From Arta, we move to Ali Sabih, where the first test of the third session of decentralized baccalaureate exam since session 2024 began yesterday morning in Ali Sabih. Registered candidates from the region turned up early in the morning in the Ali Sabih High School and League Examination Center. A total of 579 candidates, including 440 for the general back and 139 for the vocational back, were called to sit for the written part of the exam. A delegation comprising the prefect of the region, Mr. Abdul Malik Mohammed Bunaita, the president of the regional council, Chairman Hassan Alale, and the regional inspector, Mohammed Adengele, visited the high school, Are Ali Sabih, and the League of Ali Sabih to supervise the general and vocational baccalaureate exams. The General Arabic and Technical Baccalaureate exams started yesterday, Monday, June 3rd, in the Dikhl region. Like other regions and in the capital, a delegation composed of the prefect of the region, the president of the regional council, heads of education services, representative of the Ministry of Decentralization, the colonel of the armed forces, the police, and the gendarmerie supervised the smooth running of the exams. Candidates took the exam in air-conditioned rooms, and all conditions were met. Candidates from As'ila, Mulud, Yubuki, and Sankal were all housed and fed in Dikhl schools and were supported by the Ministry of Education and the regional council throughout the duration of the baccalaureate exams. We move up north now towards the White City. The Tajara region hosted the decentralized baccalaureate examination on Monday. For the third year in a row, baccalaureate candidates were able to take the exam in the region, an initiative of which they are proud, especially those who do not have a host family in Djibouti City where they were used to pass the tests. In total, 416 candidates set for the exams, both in general sector and the professional sector. The general baccalaureate exams took place at the Musa Ali High School, where the professional baccalaureate exams took place at the Technical High School. The Randa and the Adailu High Schools, which also have their own secondary schools, were also in the running. The students from these localities went to Tajora to take the baccalaureate exams. Last but not least, Hayu, where the first general and professional education baccalaureate exams for the 2024 session began on the morning of Monday, June 3rd in the Obokh region. This year, a total of 167 candidates were registered for the general and professional baccalaureate, among which 92 were registered for the general baccalaureate and 75 for the professional one. A delegation led by the prefect of the Obokh region, Mr. Musa Aden, and composed of the vice president of the Obokh regional council, Mr. Ahmed Muhammad Ali, the representative of the head of the Obokh Regional Services, Mr. Abdul Qadir Ahmed, as well as the two representatives of the Ministry of Decentralization, successfully visited the two examination centers, speaking at each stage with members of the General Secretariat of the BAC to ensure the smooth running of the tests, then in the rooms of examination. Allow me to take you now all the way from Oboch to Palestine for the international scene, where on Monday, Palestine filed an application with the International Court of Justice requesting authorization to intervene in the proceedings brought by South Africa against Israel for the crime of genocide. The move represents a crucial development in the ongoing legal proceedings, with Palestine stressing that it has every interest in a successful outcome. The request for intervention follows Palestine's official declaration made on the same day, accepting the ICG's jurisdiction over disputes covered by Article 11 of the Convention of the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. Palestine's request is described of both complementary and subsidiary, reflecting its strategic approach. Well, but this is our beloved viewers. We finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.